Gripping drama from the 70s, a double bill of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy here on BBC 4 tonight, after Michael Jayston recalls his role as George Smiley's right-hand man in the BBC's classic spy tale.
I'd leave that coat on if I were you, George. We've got a long way to go.
Well, you're not me, Peter. And before I go anywhere at all, I shall change out of my sopping shoes. And also, I think, make a pot of coffee.
You sound a little testy, George, old boy. Lacon is waiting for you.
Me, Peter?
George, I've been sent to deliver you.
My name is Michael Jayston, and although some of you who saw me years ago will think, my gods, what happened? Because I've got so old. And I played Peter Guillam in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Hang on a minute. I think I got the number. Alwyn, sling that bag across for me, will you, please?
I will, sir. There you go.
I was doing a terrible, rubbishy film called Zulu Dawn. And my agent, he said, well, Michael, at last I've got hold of you. They've offered you, you don't have to go and audition or anything, they've offered you Tinker Tailor Soldier. He said, I've never heard of it. I said, yeah, I'll do it. He said, but you haven't, they're sending you the script. I said, well, it's marvellous. It's fantastic. I've been offered Peter Guillam. I said, it's one of the main characters. He runs the way, all the way through it. He's the main kind of person with... I said, who else is in it? He said, Alec Guinness. I said, and you're asking me whether I want to do it or not.
What killed him? Operation Witchcraft or Operation Testify?
Neither. Let's not be melodramatic. Control would disapprove. He died of old age. A little early. But Testify destroyed his function in life, which was a form of murder. I don't have nearly enough on Testify, Peter. Would you please,
Of course, George.
I got the part, I think. Alec Guinness suggested 6 people, and I was one of them. I know he wouldn't admit it, though, afterwards. I think there was Nigel Stock, myself, Ian Bannon, Ian Richardson. I don't know who the other 2 were, but I know because my agent said, oh, he mentioned you. And when I mentioned it, when I got to know Alec quite well, he said, well, you were in the frame and all that kind of thing, but I know he put me up for it. He wouldn't admit it, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Tady západem, pane Hajku.
Nedoufám, že taky za zábavou. Ve Francii nevaří dobré pivo.
Ian Bannon had a reputation, quite rightly so too, because he was a hell of a drinker, but he managed to keep jobs down. I don't think the producers wanted him, but Guinness did his research and found out. He said, I'm absolutely positive he hasn't had a drink for about 3 or 4 years. But the peculiar thing was that I don't think John le Carré, after he was asked his assessment, he didn't like Ian Bannon's performance for some unknown reason. I did. I thought he was marvellous in it.
So, what does George want from Connie, the bad boy?
her memory. To go over some very old ground, Connie.
His assessment of Beryl Reid, I know he said to me, well, he said to a lot of people, he said, I don't want to work with a cabaret, she's a variety artist. And eventually I got to know him quite well. I said, listen, Alec, I said, I saw her in the Bristol Vic in The Killing of Sister George. She can act straight, she's marvellous. And Alex still made her do the whole of that marvellous scene they had when she had to say they were all boys and they all went to their death. All boys they were.
Hear that, Flush? First they chuck us out with an old bone, then they come begging to us. I was the best head of research the circus ever had. Everyone knew that. And what did they say the day they gave me the chop? That personnel cow. You're losing your sense of proportion, Connie. It's time you got out into the real world. Well, I hate the real world. I like the circus and my lovely boys.
He made her do it again about 2 days later because he wasn't satisfied with it. And he was wrong because she got the Best Actress award. So Alec could be wrong, but I did adore him in lots of ways. I read the quote that said Michael Jayston as Peter Guillam was the glue that held everything together. And you see, I know, and Le Carré agreed with me when I said, I'm playing you in this, aren't I? I'm playing your character. Yes, yes, you are. And nobody ever says that. I was playing his character in it. So I'm rather pleased I played John Le Carré in. I didn't realise what a good part it was until I suddenly thought, hang on, I've been in that scene, I've been in this scene, I've been in the other scene. I also realised that I was acting with a great actor. And if you're with a great actor, and I've acted with Olivier, Guinness, Ralph Richardson on stage, but that was a load of absolute rubbish as well. You just react to them. I reacted to what Alec was doing, and it made me look better. And I thought, you know, it's like when you're with comedians, great comedians. And I've worked with some of those as well. You don't try and top them. You just go along with them. And with Alec, it was the same.
Well, I guess I better make my pitch then.
Let's keep it precise, shall we? All the way along.
Before you begin, Ricky, do I understand correctly that no one at the circus knows you're in England?
Only Mr. Guillam.
You're officially absent without leave. On the wanted list.
I think I'm safe now. I've got a story to tell you. It's all about spies. And if it's true, which I think it is, you boys are going to need a whole new organization.
Everybody went on and on about it all the time, about who's the mole and who is this and who is that and who is the other. My agent, he said, and he was a hell of a gambler, he said, I tried to get a bet with Ladbrokes as to who the mole was. I said, I bet you couldn't get a bet. He said, no, I couldn't. I said, well, you know why, don't you, Julian? Because there is a book. The book has been there for quite a few years before we... Oh, really? I said, yes, and people who've read the book know who the mole was. And I could have said, listen, I'd have ruined it. Just read the book, will you? Alec, one day, came on the set, and I've never known such controlled anger. He said, I would like to remind the producers and the director, I was called at 6 o'clock this morning, and apart from this lovely lady, who one of the first assistants came along and said at 12 o'clock we were overrunning, and not a single word. It's now 6:30 at night. I would remind the producers what my overage is. And then he walked off, and I've never known such controlled anger. I think he was being paid £1,000 overage if it went over, or he was called and he wasn't worked a day, which isn't bad. I couldn't do Smiley's People for various reasons. The first director on Smiley's People was somebody that, and he'd signed the contract, Guinness investigated him like he did. Anyway, the first director got the sack because of Alec Guinness and managed to get hold of Alec Guinness's phone number and rang him up. And Guinness said, well, since you've managed to get hold of my phone number, you want to know why I was instrumental in not wanting to use you. He said, I've investigated your career and I found out you're a bit of a shit and I don't like working with shits. Will that suffice? Put the phone down, told me this himself. And there was another occasion when Guinness and I stop and go into this awful cafe and they give us this wine and he said to the waiter, oh, let it breathe.
Let it breathe a little.
And it was such a marvellous line to say in this tatty old thing, let it breathe, as if you're in the Savoy or somewhere. Ah, I adored Guinness. I just liked being with all those people and acting with them. I don't know whether directors or actors know when they hit something. I've only known it about 3 times professionally in my whole life when I thought I'm into something which I know is going to be fantastic. There's not all that many times I've been proud to be an actor, but I'm so proud of Tinker Tailor.